Northeasterly winds will reach gale force at times today on Irish coastal waters.
The north coast of Ireland has been familiar territory for U-boat hunters ever since the First World War. It's never been a gentle environment to work in. There are more rocky inlets than safe anchorages. Our group came in peace, unlike most other seekers of the wolf packs, which came to harry Allied shipping in 2 world wars. Our weapons were diving equipment and cameras. Our mission was to reopen a forgotten chapter in the story of the U-boats.
During the Second World War, the Atlantic was a desperately dangerous place. At the peak of the Atlantic War, up to 700,000 tons a month of Allied shipping was falling to the wolf packs. But after early U-boat successes, it became less of a one-sided battle. At war's end, a fleet of 156 U-boats surrendered to the Allies. Many others were scuttled by their crews. Lissahallie in Londonderry was one of 2 holding centres for the surrendered fleet. The ancient wooden quay the U-boats were moored against has now been transformed into a modern deep-water port. The U-boats motored in on the surface under armed guard, symbols of a defeated nation. And the wolf packs, which had claimed 13.5 million tons of Allied shipping and countless lives, became a spectacle at which to point and stare. Loch Ryan in Scotland was the other holding port for the U-boat fleet. 110 of them were taken, 6 at a time, from the ports to be scuttled northwest of Malin Head in a major naval exercise called Operation Deadlight. Many were sunk by shellfire en route to their intended grave after parting their tows and foundering in rough weather. Just half of the U-boats made it to the official scuttling point. The intention had been that all the U-boats would end their lives off Rockall in the darkest, deepest hole the Navy could find, to lie forgotten in 1,000 fathoms. Those which reached Rockall were bombed, shelled and used as target practice for the then top-secret Squid ship-to-ship missile.
All clear, ring off.
7 members of the British Sub-Aqua Club set out this year to retrace the last days of the U-boats. We left Bangor in Northern Ireland in May, hoping to film some of the 56 U-boats lying scattered like pearls en route to the Rockall Deep. On Monday we had been hoping to hunt U-boats, but the wind continued to blow from the north, force 5 or 6. As expected, the pickup was more challenging than the dive.
I've got a full of water. Yeah, I want to get the water right first. Run the water right. I'm going to run the water right. Listen, the active box is on the side. Oh, it's fun.
With With the weather deteriorating, there was no choice but to run back to Portrush, 50 miles from our main search area. The following day, Tuesday, was spent on an abortive search for a U-boat.
I'm afraid that there's going to be strong winds there tomorrow. This is really the season time for the trip, and I think it's time to cut our losses. We are not going to get diving U-boats this trip around, but we still want to get some decent diving. So what we decided to do is go over to Sanda and see if we can hunt for some wrecks there.
But Sanda was no improvement. A gale was on the way, and we had no choice but to batten down and run for shelter in Campbelltown. So the diving part of the trip came to an end. The next day was the coldest May day since records began. A fitting close to a trip high on drama, but which brought us no closer to finding our U-boat quarry. The next suitable tides found us back on the track of the U-boats. This time we were based on land at Malin Head with rigid-hulled inflatable boats. It was a time of high spirits. The previous day, after a 3-hour search, we had found and shotted what we believed was an Operation Deadlight U-boat. But the submarine was in Instrahull Sound, one of the most treacherous stretches of water in Ireland. A slight change in wind direction was all that was needed to turn it into a maelstrom, forcing us to turn back. Bitterly disappointed, we found some solace in locating and diving a U-boat victim from the First World War. Later, the weather was still awful. A sadly depleted group stood by, prepared to make what was to be the final attempt this year on the U-boats.
Stephen, it's Reg. I'm looking out in the window here and it's pretty calm. The forecast for tomorrow is good. What do you think?
I certainly will. If you're up to it, I'll certainly take a run up, but it would take me a couple of hours probably, if that's okay.
Okay, I'll get things ready at this end. I think we're going to go for it now.
No problem. Have breakfast waiting for me. I'll be up as quick as I can.
Cheers.
Right, you're right, yeah.
Going down the shot line, the visibility was crystal clear, the sea above calm.
And there she lay. This was U-861, a queen among U-boats. A Type 9D2 designed as a long-distance command boat, she was bigger than many a conventional wreck. Based at Trondheim in Norway for much of the war, the U-boat surrendered and was taken to Lissahalli. She was sunk by gunfire by a Polish destroyer when she parted tow off Instrahull. The deck had corroded away after 50 years, leaving only the buckled framework. Several breaks in the hull ruled out any question of raising the vessel intact. The crushed conning tower had broken free and lay on its side, with the collapsible snorkel tubes still attached. The wounds dealt by shell fire remained readily apparent. There's something about a U-boat that continues to fascinate long after the battle. This old lady was meant to die an undignified death, but refused to follow the script. She now lies where the determined diver can find her. But be warned, the grave of the sea wolves is no place for the unwary or the disrespectful.